Okay, we are live. So we are looking here at an active crime scene. And welcome to Goo Morning, Zyathé.
Good morning, everybody. Glad to have you all here. Gooey Lawrence here, as well as with Camera Mandy, here filling in after the loss of our wonderful and dear friend. Huh?
That's a way to say it. The disappearance.
Yeah, that's also another version of Lost. We had him, and then now we don't have him. It's called Lost.
Oh, I thought you said loss.
No.
Oh, okay. I see.
So, but we are here. We're here to review over my internal investigation of the various clues and what has been delivered to us, as well as what we might be able to reveal. In the meantime, also, we want to keep your spirits high. Camera Mandy has a special review of Darkenhaven to show over, and that's kind of what we're looking at for the show today, right?
We're going to have a magnificent show. We are obviously devastated
100%.
By the disappearance of our boss. Totally hasn't been a productive week at all without him here. So yeah, it's been rough.
I need him back, guys. He's got stuff he's got to write. So period. We have things that we need to get underway and going. So listen, if you have any information as to where Alphinius could be, please make sure to share it in our Discord and Facebook groups. So with that, are there any announcements before we get under my review of my internal investigation, Mandy?
We will do some announcements after the review of your internal investigation.
Thank you very much. So.
Oh, this is funny. They have little Alphiniuses flying across the screen on Twitch right now. If everybody looks on Twitch, it's pretty hysterical. There's like a million little Alphinius emojis running across the screen.
In the Twitch chat?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, gotcha.
Yeah. Also, just to be clear, this is going to be a super fun show.
So, 100%.
Yeah, just stay tuned. There's going to be a lot of good stuff.
We're gonna unwrangle this very, very complicated weave of various information. Oh, that's what happened. It double-sided printed. I thought it only printed 3 pages as this thing, and I found out it printed off in duplex. So,
what's a printer?
What is a printer?
In Zyathé, you have to come up with email is magic mail.
Mm-hmm.
So what would a printer be?
A printing press. It's literally the exact same thing.
Oh, okay. The printing press.
Especially, yeah. So actually, fun fact, when you guys get your Darkenhavens, which are starting to ship out this week, super excited. If you're a part of the first Kickstarter, you need to go into your email, you need to check your backer kit, and you need to make sure that your address is updated. Now, I'm going to go through and address this because I've had a few emails come on in regards to this. This is super important. I want to make sure that you guys get your 11-pound boxes to the right location. Because it has been so long, backer kit does not let you change the state that you have moved to. If you moved within state, you can change your road and everything like that. It won't let you change your state. Email into us. We can change it manually on the back end. The reason for that is because when it originally charged shipping, it charged it on state-by-state basis. So backer kit's trying to be like, oh, hey, you may have moved to a state with increased shipping. We want to and we're like, nah, we're just going to pay the shipping. So very important. Make sure you guys update that.
But let's go into the crime scene investigation. Zyathé CSI.
100%.
Oh, wow. There's like 10 there's a lot of people. There's a hype train going.
Heck yeah.
Hype train. Okay.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you'll take a look at my board up here, you will see that I have gathered again all of the important personalities and clues pertaining to the investigation. I'm going to do the best I can to lean over here. Just bear in mind, it's a little bit of a weird setup in the office with making sure that we cordon off the sensitive evidence that is right over here.
I could cut to the sensitive evidence.
It's true.
There.
Exhibit A, active crime scene. Alphinius went missing in this seat. We believe there were 2 perpetrators that came in here and took him. There was a 3rd witness. She has been cross-examined, and we are currently under review. Again, this is an active investigation. I cannot reveal all of the evidence that is currently available. But to some of you who have criticized us saying, it looks like you guys aren't looking very hard for your boss. It looks like things are business as normal. I will let you know it is a ploy. We don't want the DLF to know what we know or what we do not know.
So we're therefore broadcasting it over Twitch.
Yeah, we got a small audience. It's okay.
Oh, okay.
This has been the circle of trust, as well as this is the other batch of witnesses.
There's a level 6 hype train.
Heck yeah.
Thank you. So I think Magnificent Square Root of 49, that would be Ben, gave 10 gift subs, and so did Doc Hawkins, who is Marcus.
You are so much better at knowing all the screen names and stuff.
I have been doing this for like almost we're going on 3 years.
So I actually have an important announcement about that as well later. But to get back to operation, where is Alfie? So you'll see.
I do want to, before we start, this is important because in case you haven't picked it up, if you guess where Alfie is, there is going to be a prize given to one of the people who figured this out. So
accurate.
A nice prize too. It won't be some crappy prize. It'll be a really nice prize.
True.
So based on whoever solves it, because at the end of the day, a lot of people have all of our stuff. So anyway, I know what we could do. We'll give away the Mornwood mouse pad, the really nice like I didn't mean to hit the microphone. The nice extension to the Darkenhaven mouse pad.
Okay.
That'd be great. Okay, well, we'll talk about it. Okay, keep going.
All right.
I didn't mean to derail you.
Just to help go through and kind of go through the key of what you're kind of looking here. I tried to group together similar pieces of evidence inside of different sections and whatnot. Red yarn goes through and connects things as far as clues, evidence, and stuff that we're working through, as well as what our current leads are. Black yarn goes through and kind of shows the connection of different thing to thing to thing and how it ties back into the entirety of the operation.
This is how Lawrence spent his evening last night. Can we just give him a round of applause?
This is also how I spent my last multiple years in the military. It does make me laugh. Every once in a while, Mandy's like, why did you do that? And I'm like, because it's what I was trained to do.
I don't have any energy to do this kind of stuff, so I'm really glad that you're here to take on this kind of.
There is nothing more important than finding Alphinius Goo right now, Mandy.
100%, I totally agree.
I have contacted up my friends in the Pentagon. I've gone through it. I've raised up to the highest channels to locate that man and bring him back, because we will not rest until Gloomport is in your hands, along with Darkenhaven as well. So, with that, reviewing over. Subject A, Alphinius Goo, a.k.a. sometimes Kim the marketing guy. Went missing approximately 1 week ago. Exhibit B, the only in-person witness, Camera Mandy. Exhibit 3, 2 shadowy figures seem to have gone through and kidnapped him, threatened Camera Mandy's life. Now then, I'd like to go through and address the press release that the Hatters released. They seem to think that this was all staged. I feel like there were some glaring gaps in the report, as thorough as it may be. As we know, Gooey Cube is symbiotically joined to a small marketing agency. That marketing agency has billions, possibly billions of dollars of camera equipment. Alphinius goes through and casts a spell in this office. Everybody's out of a job. Gooey Cube ceases to exist. Therefore, we can go through and assume that Alphinius was trying to save everybody's livelihood by not just teleporting out. Now, people may ask, why hasn't he returned? It is most likely because his spell focus or his component pouches have been taken. Bear in mind, you cannot cast spells without either a spell focus or
Here, I'm going to come zoom in on some of this stuff. Hold on 1 second. Yes. Camera
Mandy's actually going to camera. It's pretty cool.
But I won't be there to monitor the chat, so.
It's true. Chat is unmonitored right now, so, have fun.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Can we put somebody else in charge in the meantime?
I will. Who am I going to put in charge?
I don't know. Patrick Kenny, if you're in the chat, you're in charge. Stacy's in charge.
Stacy's in charge. Do not give it to Patrick Kenny.
So, as you will see, there are some different things. I'm not going to read through all of this. I just want to highlight some of the major stuff. I tried to go through and do it. So if you want to stay on camera, you'd be good.
I'm going to stay on camera. I was just grabbing my phone so I can look at the chat.
That makes sense.
Okay.
All right. So, Hatters, while we understand that there is some beef between you and Alphinius Goo, we can assume that he is working in good faith in this aspect. Now, Camera Mandy, if you go through, our prime suspect over here in the center of the board is the DLF. I've contacted some of my friends instead of the former Special Forces community, and we have been able to get this image from a very, very small, unpopular Twitch/YouTube stream called DLF TV. We assume this to be the leader of the DLF. We are currently cross-examining to see if he is connected to Amphibious, but it is unsure at this time. So make sure that you keep an eye out for this individual. If you do get any information, please make sure to contact us at our Facebook group, the Gooey Game Masters Den of Enlightenment. With that, I'm going to go ahead and switch over sides over here. I'm going to talk louder so you can hear me.
The mic, let me point the mic.
Thank you.
Hold on. Ugh.
We need to hire like 8 more people. All right, folks, I hope you can hear me. I'm going to try and project loudly to go over and work that. So, up here in the corner, in order to assist us with our investigation, Gooey Cube has brought on 2 secret agents.
Hold on.
Listed here. First one, codename Gooeyad. He has been hired as, his cover is a customer service representative where he has been getting embed into the Gooey Cube community and gathering information, as well as Gooey Devin. Now then, I've brought on Gooey Devin because he is in fact the son of Alphinius, which means that he will stop at nothing to bring him home. Using his cover as making security improvements to the office, he has been gathering information covertly. I'll be using these two agents to eventually go through and rescue Alphinius himself. Also, they're helping us out with customer service and security improvements to the office. So just kind of 2 birds, 1 stone on that one. Now then, as we can see, we have gathered up some information about Alphinius and where his locations. The DLF has been doing press releases. I would like to point out some stuff. Similar shirts, possibly the same shirts. Why are they taking multiple photos all inside of the same day? Also, different eye mask. Interesting. Why don't they just have the same eye mask?
What if it's the same eye mask, but it's just like turned inside out?
That's possible. I don't use eye masks that often. So, but we are keeping an eye out. We are keeping any information. We're trying to geotag these photos. We're also trying to cross-reference them with the images in the background to go through and try and get his exact location. We do assume that he is fearing for his life. As you can see, there's a weapon here. Possibly, really looks like a cake spatula thing. What are those things called? Cake
I mean,
knife?
that knife is like hardcore.
It might be a real
That
knife.
is a hardcore knife.
It is. So we're very worried about him. We would like to highlight over here. As you can see, his nose hair is untrimmed. Now then, could this be a result of poor hygiene? Or is there some kind of weird temporal vortex that made him go through and grow his nose hair extremely fast?
Yeah, I was going to say, like, that seems like, several months worth of nose hair.
It's true. So
Potential.
we are keeping these things in mind as we continue our investigation. Now then, we do believe, if you come down here to the bottom right, he is somewhere around here. We've gotten several different maps, and we have gotten several different clues, and we are trying to identify which possible island he is located at in this area.
The Blue Shine Archipelago.
Exactly. And again,
Everyone bring out your West Verdestias. Oh, I have a West Verdestia.
all right. Well, she's going to go get the West Verdestia. I'm going to come down here so that you guys have somebody in view. All right. So make sure that you are paying attention to the clues. Make sure you're trying to locate which one of these islands he could be on. With that, then go through and pass that information over to me with the verification code word, "Where's my goo?" At which point I will launch an operation grabbing several operatives, and we will rescue the goo. Keep in mind, this correlates with spam. We believe that he is being force-fed spam, which correlates with the tropical pigs which are located on these islands. Oh, thank you. So, you can go through, use your West Verdestia. There's a map inside of the back of it. Not in the back of this one because we haven't put the map in the back yet. There's a map that you can go through and you can use to reference it. So, as well as this picture is actually up on the Facebook too, so even if you don't have West Verdestia,
If you look
still
at the map
participate.
behind you, you can see the Blue Shine Archipelago in the bottom,
West Verdestia.
bottom left.
There we go. All right.
And there's lots of lore and interesting facts.
Yeah, that stuff too.
Okay.
Bunch of nerds.
I'm
All right, last thing that we need to review is we have.
just going to say the thing about the spam.
Go for it.
Alphinius enjoys spam. He does not hate it. So that's not really a, clue that he's being tortured.
It's not about the enjoyment of the spam. It's about that there are certain locations which spam is far more prevalent of a food source, which will help us go through and limit down where he is located.
Okay, sounds good.
You don't find spam quite as often like, continental U.S. You find it more like outside lines because there's a lot of tropical pigs, stuff like that, and it has a long shelf life.
Oh, okay.
Again, difference in professions.
Well, I got spam from my local Walmart for the Wheel of Shenanigans episode, so...
And have you eaten spam since?
No?
There you go. So,
Okay.
with that, we're going to review over. We have received 3 clues, including one this morning. Unfortunately, they were used in a font which I was expressly told never to use because it's hard to read. But I guess the DLF didn't get that memo. Now with that, it's probably going to be hard to read here on screen. I have a printed out version right here. I will read them out loud. Camera Mandy, should I move this mic back towards me?
Just put it towards your mouth. There we go.
All right, here we go. Clue number 1. South of Old Andvala, cross the waters of the sea, there may be found isles where the wizard just may be. But many are the places and many are the shores. So therein lies the question, the answer found in lore. So dance your way to Blueshire and taste the salty air. Feel the wind upon your face and as you ride the sea so fair. If you would find the wizard, then learn the tales told, for in their key to find a treasure deep and cold. That is clue number 1, which is what has led us to the Blueshire Archipelago. Also, why we think there's a contest for getting something really cool. Clue number 2. On Cuttlebone, a witch doth live east of the Gravers
Be better
Shoal.
at reading. Sorry.
How about hey, DLF, be better at choosing a font that's legible. This is how I know we're working with an amateur organization. If this was a real organization, I'd be much more worried because I'd actually, be like, oh yeah, they should probably read our stuff. All right, the witch's name is Zorgana, and a tale doth tell of pirates from the northern bay where the silvered sands doth dwell. Said the pirates buried the treasure may help you solve our trick. Look northward where the silver lies, then east to islands 6. Within the group, look to the south, the cluster and lowest land. Due south, thy eyes may find a town whose name you must command. With that, the DLF also put out a Facebook survey in which they had noticed, or they had said that they were unimpressed with what most people had said was the supposed location. So it is reasonable to assume that Thigh Town is possibly ruled out from this location. Clue 3, which was released this morning in the early AM. Hooks homed blind crone, verdant stone, dead Rome, where are we?
Who's writing these clues?
The DLF.
Yeah, I know. Good. This guy. Apparently.
Yep, that guy. We don't have a name. We don't have a location. We are on the. We are looking out for him, and again, we are cross-referencing him against Alphinius. So.
Alphinius?
Yes.
Okay, sounds good.
But with that, last person that we need to keep an eye out for, Luke Gygax. He was the last guest on Goo Morning Zyathé before the attempted capture. Was there some bad blood that happened here? He certainly has the resources as well as he has some military training. These clues and more as we try and solve the mystery of where is Alfie. Thank you. That is my report.
Okay, let me go put this camera where it's going to be for your unboxing.
Perfect.
And then I will go back to my desk.
Sounds good. So, aside from that, other exciting things that have been happening over this week is went over and we talked to the printer about going through and upscaling Darkenhaven and getting more of them in. Assembling and shipping out next week once we go through and confirm out, get our first batch of confirmed addresses. So we're super stoked about that and looking forward to helping some postman work out. So,
okay, well, that was a super in-depth review of this intriguing mystery that I'm sure will be solved here in the next week and a half.
We can only hope.
So
Gloomport, rests on the shoulders of us finding Alphinius.
I think Gloomport is doing just great.
It is actually doing just great. That was one of the things that Carrie Alexander and I did as we were doing a Gloomport/Darkenhaven dissection. So we're going through and we're really looking at what we executed with Darkenhaven and how we want to go through and continue that same kind of pattern and how we want to go through and differentiate for Gloomport. And so it is definitely underway. Unfortunately, Alphinius is the one who does a lot of the art direction on it. So unless you want just a giant textbook with no pictures, we need Alphinius back.
Okay, sounds good.
Or maybe we can do like a stick. What if we did like just stick figures for all of the pictures in it?
I think that would be a different kind of book.
It would be a different direction.
I don't think it'd be a Gooey Cube product.
we do have to think of the possibility that he never comes back and what direction we will take Gooey Cube.
Okay, well, I guess as the vice president of Gooey Cube, who doesn't participate very much in the creative aspect of the making of the materials, I have a lot to figure out.
You certainly do.
There's a lot weighing on my shoulders.
Yep.
But I have every faith that he's going to be coming back. And some people have questioned, my lack of concern, but this is a very capable wizard that we're talking about. And, I think he's going to be just fine in the long run. So anyway, all that said,
your confidence is inspiring to us
all that said, Thank you for that wonderful breakdown.
Absolutely.
We are going to show a little video clip from our friends at Genghis Con who are currently at Tacticon up in Denver. So I'm sure most people who are watching this know that Genghis Con is our home convention. It's right up the road from us in Denver, Colorado, and it happens in February. And we have an awesome announcement, which I just realized I hadn't gotten loaded up into my program yet. So I'm going to cut back to Lawrence.
With that, we're super excited for up at Tacticon. If you are inside the Colorado area, make sure you swing up on there. It's a little bit more, again, so Tacticon, it's a little bit more war gamey based and stuff like that, but they have a ton of great events, amazing, awesome games over there. And our friends Donnie and Andrea run a wonderful convention for everybody that shows up. So definitely super excited for them and love them. Appreciate everybody who's been talking in the Discord and the Gooey Den. It's been absolutely hopping over the last week and everything. We love all the interaction. We love all the well wishes and stuff. And then it's also great being able to go through and every once in a while we go through and then like Discord and stuff, we'll get customer support stuff. You guys are welcome. Make sure you tag Gooey Ead in that. So that's Gooey, so Gooey, and then Ad. His name is actually Ead, so it just kind of works out. Make sure you tag him if you do have any customer service stuff. We want to make sure we get that stuff resolved, get you guys your orders and stuff.
Yeah, Geeky says low budget production is still in full effect. So that's good. And that's because I'm here, Geeky.
It's accurate.
And I had a very interesting week with marketing work, so I am tired.
Hey, but... you know how this works, Geeky? It's low budget, maximum effort.
Maximum effort 30 minutes before the show starts. Anyway, here we go. This is from Donnie and Andrea.
We have a very special announcement for all of you watching Goo Morning Zyathé. VIG badges are on sale now for Genghis Con!
So yes, VIG badges are now on sale for Genghis Con. So if you're planning on going, VIG is the way to do it. You get like a nice VIP treatment, swag bag, all the goodies. So definitely go check it out.
They can't see you right now.
Oh, well, I hate cutting to myself. Hi guys. Okay, so yes, anyway, so we're gonna be there running games. We'll have a booth there. I mean, it's a big party. It's a great way to just hang out with our community and connect. And so we have a lot of people travel in from out of state. It's very affordable. The hotels are there's lots of hotels in the area if you don't stay at the main hotel as well that are easy to walk to. So yeah, please come join us. It's going to be a great time. And yeah, if you're in the Denver area, I'm going to be heading up to Tacticon this afternoon to go say hi to everyone. And yeah, okay. Next up, see, this is Alphinius normally does all this stuff, so I don't have to talk as much. I just have to comment. So,
Mandy, you are a glorious leader right
now.
You have to lead us to victory.
I don't have the charisma of the Alphinius. Okay, with that said, though, we are going to move on to something very cool.
True. Also, at Genghis Con this year, I'm going to try and run 3 games, so definitely go through and sign up for my games.
Oh, that's new information that I didn't have before.
Yeah.
So
I've also like said it multiple times after like Genghis Con. I was like, you know what, I really think I should really try and run games at like Genghis Con and Gary Con because I feel like it's important to make sure to like stay fresh and stuff.
Well, I will say this, my Gary Con slots are pretty much completely full at this point. So
we're run underground games.
Underground game. Okay, sounds good. So anyway, well, Matt and Casey, we have a new GM for Genghis Con. So
what's up?
Anyway, okay, next up, we are going to do someone get Mandy a shot. I know I need it because I hate this. This is like too much pressure for me. So anyway, you take it over, Lawrence. You're doing the Darkenhaven unboxing.
Sweet. So I'm gonna go ahead and put my board down for this. Again, make sure we'll actually put a picture of it up like in the thing. Also, heads up, if you guys have anything we need to add to this, like go ahead and just put in the chat. We'll like write a note, like stick it up on there and whatnot. So, but let's go ahead and lower this guy down. Oh. Now, some of you got a chance over at Gen Con to be able to see the demo box that we were able to take on out there. Oh. And we are super excited because we're able to we finally got the special edition Deepest Fears in, so which means that now we can actually send out all these special edition Darkenhavens to all of our wonderful and glorious fans who have been bearing with us over the years for this. So I'm pretty excited for this. I actually got to go through and do a lot of like the tail end work for this, so a lot of the different polishing up. And then
sit down so that way your head is not cut off. Thank you.
This is so hard.
There's another, is there not a smaller, there's a stool right next to you.
Yeah, but I have to reach over a lot because all my work area is like right here.
Oh, okay.
So
There's a smaller chair that you could sit in.
I think I'm just gonna have to do this squat. It'll be okay. I'm like power stancing it right now, folks, where it's just like, yeah, right in the buns.
Getting your exercise in on Goo Morning Zyathé.
A little bit. So, but yeah, we got our special edition Deepest Fears in. We were able to go through and we actually got those all signed before Alphinius got kidnapped, which was a huge relief because otherwise we'd be waiting another 3 weeks to be able to actually go through and get these out to you. So these are your 11 pounds, 2.2 ounce boxes that Darkenhaven that are going to be delivered over to you. So
we'll start with the thing next to you because that's my favorite part. Well, not my favorite part.
This part?
Yeah, it's one of my favorite parts.
So this is the player's primer that we went through and delivered for, or that we went through and created up for Darkenhaven. Now, actually, really funny story about this. So obviously, Darkenhaven has been a project that's been underway for like 4 years. And project managing something over 4 years is extremely difficult for any organization to do. Trust me, I was in the Army. It's hard for them too. So around March, when we went over and we switched up, we finished up Tomb of Guys and X. So we said, okay, let's go full steam into Darkenhaven. And I was trying to get familiar with like what everything was, like what was promised in the Kickstarter, what's all the Goo Morning Zyathé updates that we went through where stuff was promised for Darkenhaven. Everywhere is listed up. And I went up to Alphinius and said, hey, Alphinius, what about the 4th book? Because we've been talking about 3 books. We've been talking about you have your lore book, you have your locations book, and then you have your GM reference. And I go, well, what about the 4th book? And he goes, what do you mean? And I'm like, up here on the website, you have listed the 4th player's primer book. And it was like white, just in his face, like, what? And so I was like, don't worry, I got this. Went down to Carrie, we brainstormed up some ideas, and we came up with the player's primer. The entire inspiration for this was very much like a Los Angeles, Hollywood, Walk of the Stars, like review of the city. So this is written kind of like first person point of view, where it's like, hey, your players go through, you enter into the main gates of Darkenhaven, and there's a young lad. Oh, please, hey, please, sir. Hey, here you go, sir. It's all your information that you need about Darkenhaven. Please, 4 pence, please. And at which point, then your players can go through and they can dissect this, and they go through it. It has actually like reviews of different locations and some of our favorite locations in Darkenhaven. It goes over a little bit of the background of like, hey, like here's some of the customs and courtesies you should be aware of. Hey, if you're around this time of year, here's some of the major holidays that the city celebrates them. Here's how some of the money works, and here's some of the things that you should be aware of. And it even has advertisements, which was awesome. So
there's a question from the chat, which is, will this be sold separately? And the answer is no. There's 2 things that are going to come out on the outside of the box because they don't fit inside. So the player's primer is one of them, and the little mini adventure, the Deepest Fear. Mm-hmm. They're. Do we have one that's wrapped that I can go grab so they can see how it's all packaged together?
Yeah. No, actually.
Oh, okay, never mind. So just imagine that you get this giant box, and then outside the box there is also this little player's primer and an adventure, and it's all packaged together, and it's massive and heavy, and beautiful. So
it absolutely is.
Yeah.
So yeah, player primers currently aren't sold separately. I guarantee you, when Alphinius gets back, if you're like, hey, I want to get a player's primer separately, he's gonna say, hey, figure it out, Gooey Lawrence. So just thoughts. Oh. Sorry about that. I apologize, folks. Okay. I'm a loud individual. That's why they put me downstairs. So one of the most fun is the player's primer. You can go through, you can hand it directly over to your players, and then go through and read it, and it's a ton of fun. It's also a mini adventure that is featured in Wells called Deepest Fear. If you want, you can go grab one of the Deepest Fears from right over there, Mandy. We can show it real quick.
Okay, I can grab it.
In the meantime, I'm going to go through and take you through this. So one of the things that I do want to highlight for your portrait packs, these are actually specially designed portrait packs. The reason that they're specially designed is they're actually 3/4 of an inch smaller than any of our other boxes. We had to do this because when we originally created Darkest Dream, we had no idea that we were going to get to a point where there was 107 portraits. So the way that they originally designed these boxes was
not the special edition?
Yes, but I don't know the exact location of it. That's fine. All these people got the special edition. Yeah. All right, so this is the Deepest Fear. Nice little mini adventure, kind of like Dark Tide's Night size, signed by Alphinius Goo. This is one of my favorite covers that we've done because it's totally outside of the standard that we've ever done before.
It's departive.
What's up?
I said it's departive.
There you go. That's the artsy term. It's departive. So you get to find out who this is actually one of Alphinius' favorite characters that he's ever created. It's shown up in every campaign that I've ever played with him. So But like I was saying, so originally this was the only way they're supposed to be. Now we have a whole bunch of stuff. So now, because they are just slightly smaller, you can actually fit 2 rounds of portraits in there, and as well as 3 sets of special item cards and Gooey rewards, and it sits flat. And this is going to be our new standard for printing as we move forward. It's going to solve the issues with chapter 4 where it bows out, which, you know, like seems cool from a selling point, but when you like stack a bunch of them and they look like they're going to fall over, it's not as great. So heads up.
I mean, with that said, it did hold two of our chapter 4s held up that giant heavy trailer.
Oh yeah.
At Gen Con. So
that is accurate. That was hilarious. Our trailer was completely loaded down. It was at maximum load, and the only jack that I had was not enough to actually like lift it.
Well, you got it lifted, or how did you guys lift it onto the...
We had to go through and take 2 of the chapter 4s, and I'm holding there underneath the tire, and I'm telling Cody through my phone to, hey, drive forward, and it ramped up onto the chapter 4s. And that's how we were able to go through and get enough room to actually...
I'm so glad that you were there to handle that, because if that had been anything to do with me, I wouldn't have the especially after like 2 days of not sleeping.
Yeah.
That's pretty impressive. That's special forces for you.
I was at 68 hours of no sleep by the time I finally got to sleep at Gen Con.
Yeah. Well.
All things are possible through our Lord and Savior, caffeine and Adderall. So 108 portraits is what you get for this thing. It is a massive collection. Tons of them are of our Gooey community. Amazing descriptions on the back. You guys are familiar with the deal. 57 special item cards, just about. Massive stack that you can go through, use for anything that you got. A bunch of them are tied over to the NSRE. Some of them are just there for you to be able to use. Gooey rewards, as normal. These are all special and particular to Darkenhaven, so it's not a whole bunch of just one more extra hit points. A lot of them are very like kind of Darkenhaven flavored and specific. From there, you get into our adventure handouts, and this is where this box has been used for demos, so it's just a little bit out of order, so just bear with me. For your adventure handouts, 54 of these. I'm giving you rough numbers. Remember, the names have changed of this like multiple times. There we go. Now we're right. The numbers for these have changed multiple times. There's nothing more frustrating than being like, hey, so we're going to be done in like 3 days. And then Alphinius comes downstairs and he's like, hey, so we got like 3 more portraits. And then I just ordered like 15 more artworks for the stuff. And it's just like.
Really, Lawrence?
Oh, yeah.
I'm excited personally for the people to get the amazing package of stuff. So
okay, first of all, don't put that shade on me. I give away more free stuff than Alphinius does. I love giving our customer stuff.
Yeah.
It is not, I am all about giving you guys as much as possible. It's just when it's like, hey guys, here's the plan. We're like 3 days out from finishing the plan.
You know what I love is that normally I'm the person who's like the one that's stressed out about all this stuff. And yeah, the chat can attest because sometimes I find out about things like on the stream.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But now I'm in the opposite position in this scenario.
Yep.
Where you're the stressed out one and I'm just chilling over here behind the camera.
So what a lot of people don't understand, especially, well, a lot about what people some might understand is that all of this stuff connects into each other. So it's not like, hey, let's just sell you like this one book or that one book or anything. If you change something in one section, it very likely changes things in 2 or 3 other products. So that's why, again, it like love giving you guys.
Harry says I get to make the promises that you have to deliver.
Yeah, exactly. So that's really what we all should aspire to.
I can see why Alphinius says it all the time. Ha Make it so.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah.
That's what we should all aspire to be, is just be that person in your company that you can just make promises that somebody else has to figure out how to fulfill.
I mean, that is the idea. You know what's actually, though, really cool about the interconnectivity of it, though, is how everything works together, and I'd love to talk a little bit more about that. Also, I do want to actually see the handouts. You keep, like, showing, like, 1 or 2.
Well, there's, like, a lot of them.
You're not doing a great Vanna White impression.
Okay, well, first of all, there we go.
There you go.
That's Benjo's Tavern. That one's upside down. That one's also upside down. This is the Firehouse. That one's pretty cool.
It's upside down.
No, it's not. No, it's not. Is the TV right side? The TV's right side up. That's the tag right there. That's the tag right there.
Uh-huh.
So that's the right side.
Okay.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
That's the old Nagelboffen gang. You get to meet him over in Deepest Sphere. That's Big Wizards Outfitters. That's the Coliseum. Look how good I got these memorized. I don't even have to read them. That's Coliseum at night. Sounds a little bit easier. That's Coliseum from far away. It looks really cool. Like there's a rock concert going on. That's the bathhouse. There is a special Easter egg in Volume 2, Book 1. Yep. So keep an eye out for that artwork.
Yeah, they already know.
Fishing
Fabio.
Fishing Town. Let's see. You don't know how many new people got. This one is the Nimbular Ombulary, I believe. I can't pronounce that one. We definitely started coming up with nicknames for all these because Alphinius is the king of made-up words.
That are long and complicated to say.
Yes, they are. There you go. Tower of Zyathé Mastery.
That's upside. There you go.
There you go. You have a delay.
Alphinius, you're doing a great job. Oh, that's true. I am watching on the Twitch stream. Good point. I'll watch over here.
There we go.
That's helpful.
All right. So that's cool. Cool celebration over in High Garden. All right. Are you happy?
Yeah, you can pause. So that was like less than half the stack. So just know.
Yes, it was actually.
There's lots of arts like that to help set the scene for your players.
All right, we're gonna speed run the portraits here. This thing's even split into 2 stacks. It still like barely fits in the bag. It is impressive. So I'm gonna move this out of the way. Look at that, and now it's clean. I'm gonna try and like have like a little bit of like some organization over here.
You're doing great, Lawrence.
Thank you.
Hang in there.
All right, so tons of portraits of different friends, family, people that we know, people that we don't know.
Okay, wait, that right there. There's Todd. Hold up, Todd.
Wait, do I need to pull it
There's
back?
James. There's Stan. There's Christina. You need to put them. We can't actually see them.
Oh my God.
Hold them up. Okay. There you go. Okay. Oh wait, I'm watching on a delay again.
Yeah.
Right. So there. Okay. So that's Philip on the left. There's Diana Goo. That's Miss Goo, Alphinius' wife, who's like apparently terrified for his safety.
100%.
Okay. There's Christina Rieger's character, Micho. There's Rob Gustafson. There's Howard Thompson. There's Andrew Grover's character. So yeah, there just that in that one stack, there's a ton of our people. And then if you look in front, there's James in the middle, James Karras. There we go. James is going to be, there's Eric Heasley. Wait. Oh my God. Name. I know, that's Keith
Zleven?
Dushecki's friend, who is,
Gothard.
no.
Minavardis McLaughlin.
Oh my God, I'm failing. I met him in person. He's like the nicest person ever.
You were doing so good up until now.
I know.
The pressure
Okay.
of having to
There's
run.
actual Keith. There's Keith. So there's Keith. Yeah. Oh, that this is a memorial portrait. Yeah. There's Ben. There's Adam. That's my hubby, Adam. There's Jens.
So actually, you guys want to hear a funny thing about Jens?
Yeah.
All right. So Jens was one of the primary writers and coordinators for most of Darkenhaven and whatnot. We went through and we wanted to try and get down like the metadata for like the locations and like how long an average location was and how many average locations per ward and like a lot of that stuff to help give us an outline for as we're kind of moving through Gloomport. The average location word count, somewhere around like 500 words. However, in the governor's ward, which he wrote, the average word count is like 700 and something. And then it had like so many more. And so his entire section ended up being like 15,000 words, which was like 5,000 more than anybody else, which is a whole lot. So, and then I called him out to like, throw some shade at him. And he's just like, what can I tell you, man? It's like, the capital of the city. So,
Yeah, exactly.
Players got to play apparently.
Mhm.
So, but yeah, tons of amazing, all the stuff that you're used to with us as far as just amazing portraits that you get through and use for everything. And even if like, oh, there you go. There you go. That person's important. She actually helped edit everything. So big fan of.
Kaya.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. So that's your portrait rundown. Let me see if I can get here. Actually, I will show you the most powerful magic item in this entire stack, that possibly that Gooey Cube has ever made.
Matthias. His name is Matthias.
It is Matthias.
Okay. Sorry.
All right,
It's gonna bother
folks.
me. Okay.
For your unboxing, tons of amazing different. That cloak's actually super cool.
What does this cloak do?
This one, the Night something cloak.
Uh-huh.
All right, Cloak of the Night Hunter. Let's see here. This cloak grants you advantage on dexterity, stealth checks. It's what you would expect a Cloak of the Night Hunter to do, but the artwork for it's super cool.
There's some cool parasols in there from Mira's
All right, let me see if I have to.
practical parasols.
I'm gonna have to go through this way real quick. Let's see. Well, actually, that's the Kaleidoscope Parasol, which is pretty dope. So that's the cover card. All right, but the most powerful card, and because my good friend Donnie went through and wrote it up, I'm gonna find it for you guys really quick. There's a key. There's
Okay, I'm sorry, Christina. I made a mistake and I said Nico when it's Meko.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, that's my bad.
It's a lot better than like when we were like trying to like come out. We kept on saying Micho for a while. We had like everybody ended up having. Like,
she very much said it's not Micho either.
yeah. Oh no. We definitely like ended up making up nicknames for most of your guys' characters because it was just like, except for Zleven. Zleven was one of our favorites to say every time he popped up. We go Zleven. So.
Sleeping who's Matthias?
True.
Okay.
This is all picks. It's one of the longest cards that we actually have. It actually says to be continued in the book. But depending on how
Which one was that one?
picks, it's a substance that you can take, and it has some benefits for a short time, but ultimately, listen, you should just say no to trying to avoid being demonetized.
Okay, sounds good.
Yep. All right, so most powerful item in this entire thing. It is called Nifty Boots. It is written by Donnie, and oh, there's a hat. You guys probably want to see that one. Bam.
Yeah, literally someone just said in the chat, the hat of Mandy.
Yep.
So
Mira's magical hat. That one also on the back just says, hey, you have to look at the Gems reference books too.
Well, because it's part of a whole NSRE thing, and there's a lot of cool stuff with it. So
100%. Oh my gosh, are the Nifty Boots not in here? Dang it. I missed them. All right, moving on. I couldn't find them. Oh, wait, there they are. Bam. Nifty Boots. Most powerful magical item. You want to know why the most powerful item? They're never uncomfortable. Your feet are never cold. They're never hot. They're never wet. Your feet just stay optimally comfortable. And the only downside is that they get a little smelly, which is not a big deal when it comes to having comfortable shoes.
Donnie wrote that?
Yep.
I love that.
It was written by Donnie. They're amazing. Most powerful magical item, 100%.
Okay.
All right, so with that, now you get into books. This one is volume 1. This is where you actually get into all of your lore for Darkenhaven. So, how do you want me to do like unboxing of this thing? So every chapter starts with a really cool essay to go through and just give you a feel, help really kind of frame your mind for what you're kind of getting ready to move into. You get everything into the climate, you get into the culture, you get into a timeline of major events. That's one of the essays that kind of gets into there. One of the coolest chapters in here, which I definitely gush about every time that I get the chance, is the, so Darkenhaven University. If you are a, fan of adolescent wizards and witches and that kind of thing, Riverside, Darkenhaven University, you can run an entire campaign just out of there. 100%, 1 to 20, the whole thing. Carrie did such an amazing job in going through and developing up. It's so cool and having a very unique feel, but at the same time being very familiar and having lots of fun. But another one that she did, which is really dope, is Tapestry of Beliefs. There you go, Law and Consequences. Carrie wrote a whole kind of loose outline of like crime and punishment and kind of law. And so if you wanted to get into like private eye, investigative, kind of courtroom type stuff, she did a great job of creating this amazing framework that gives you good direction, gives you a good way to be able to kind of like hold players accountable and stuff like that. But at the same time, isn't so burdensome that you have to have a law degree.
Can you like read some of it?
Sure.
Like read just a small section of it.
All right. So over here in the laws of Darkenhaven, like a lot of like the headers for this as it gets into are the rights of a person, defense laws, public laws, environmental laws, economic laws, magical laws. So it's 6 sections that kind of go through and break down, and like in your magical laws, it goes into any usage of magic in any form that violates any laws laid out in the previous sections is prohibited within the confines of the city of Darkenhaven. Any person that intends to use magic in pursuit of a commercial enterprise must be tested to obtain a license from the Zyathé Circle for their practice. So it goes through and it gives you some of these different ways that you can really have the city interact with the players during the campaign. Environmental law. No trees may be cut within the walls of the city of Darkenhaven or within a 5-mile radius of the walls unless permission has been granted by the Assembly of the Merchant Laws. Economic laws. All persons are entitled to make a lawful living in the city of Darkenhaven. What else we got here? The rights of a person. There shall be no violation of the property of persons except as a part of the implementation of lawful punishment.
So if you have someone who's like a rules lawyer and they really want to play a lawyer.
Yeah, no, if you have somebody who's an actual lawyer, we're not looking at you, Patrick, but if you have somebody who's an actual lawyer and likes to get into that, you could easily do an entire adventure story arc that really gets into like investigation, trying to make sure that you're working within the different laws and, figuring out where you want to bend them and where you want to break them for your campaign. It's an absolutely amazing section. I can't believe how well it came out, especially because like when it first came up, I was worried it was going to be really bland and boring. And Carrie did such a good job of giving you just enough to spark your imagination. So excellent job on that. That's one of the ones I gush over all the time. One of the other cool things in here is for the notable, wait for it, I just saw it, so I just want to show it. For the notable families that are, there we go. For like the notable families and organizations, stuff like that, each one actually has their own really cool sigil. So again, like different little aspects of like that to go through and really help bring life to some of these different aspects. So that is book 1. That is your lore of Darkenhaven. Next up, we get into the 2 locations books, which had to be divided up into 2 books because we could not get wire bindings that were thick enough in order to bind them.
Also, Gloomsport will also have 2 location books. So this is going to be standard across both Darkenhaven and Gloomsport.
You know how many neighborhoods Gloomsport has? So like Darkenhaven has like 12. Gloomsport has like 25. Like it's absolutely insane. I nearly blew my lid. So there'll be definitely a little bit of a layout when it comes over to that. But yeah, people who worked on Gloomsport, I'm looking at you. All right, so
Pam's in the chat.
Yeah, I'll call you out. I'll call you out, Pam.
Pam will take you on. She will take you down.
I'm meeting up with Pam.
I know. So if you live in the Bay Area, California, by the way.
Hey, what's up, Pam?
Yeah, next week, as in next weekend, Labor Day weekend, Lawrence and Iad will be going out and running Pacificon convention for Gooey Cube out there.
Or are we secretly launching an operation to bring back Alphinius and the Pacificon's just our cover? Who knows?
Yeah. You know, I mean, it's not even coincidence that Alphinius' niece's wedding is also in the Bay Area that weekend. That has nothing to do with it. Nope. So anyway, if you would like to come hang out with the Goo crew, also Rob will be running games at Pacificon, like really cool. He's going to be bringing all his sets out and running really cool games there. So I think he's running 7 Gooey Cube games. While
it was a lot.
Yeah, no, that's how he. That's I think how he enjoys conventions. So
100%.
Yeah. So I will also post up some links in the den. I've just been completely slammed this week. So
also for the record, again for Pam, anybody else who worked on Gloomsport, do not feel like I'm actually upset with you because I also know the direction was Alphinius was like, hey, write a city, and that was the maximum of the direction. So like, yeah, you get back what you put into it. So
well, I'm gonna say that the Gloomsport team is amazing.
The Gloomsport team is amazing.
And I think that the neighborhoods are going to be awesome because they're full of wonderful, amazing ideas from our community. So I'm thrilled.
Does it like hurt riding that fence the entire time?
What fence?
The fence in between opinions. It's like right in the border.
You've
never heard of that one, have you?
Well, I don't even know what you're talking about because I'm not writing the fence.
Somebody explain it to Mandy over in.
But I'm not writing a fence right now.
Writing the fence. So
okay, well,
yes, we love you. You guys did an amazing job. It creates a really fun challenge for going through and laying it out and making it all make sense and stuff like that. However, it also is the only city like it that's ever been created in the fantasy realm.
I know, that's what makes it so special.
Exactly.
So
with that,
we don't shy away from hard work here.
Yeah, we definitely don't. Unless it's lifting heavy things.
Okay, some of us have really bad backs, so it's fine. So I'm not. Stop looking at me.
Just to make this as awkward as possible. All right, so with that, here's our locations. In your locations, the way that the sections are going through and they are broken out. First of all, in the first pages here, you get, hey, here's how to read these maps. It is a civilian version of reading maps. So if you are familiar with actually reading tactical maps and stuff like that, there is a system there. So it will be easily to go through and pick up and work off of. But here's the directions for how to go through and really actually navigate all of the maps. And we'll get into those here in just a few. So those are your directions. Make sure you keep an eye out. There are asterisks and stuff down that just help you as a dungeon master be able to see what references and stuff are available to you.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
That box is empty.
Yeah.
Now.
Yeah.
But does it not have the 4th book? Or
yeah, I pulled it out because the 3rd one, or for the floor plans, no, they're right over here.
Do those go in the box?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I pulled them out earlier.
I see. Okay.
I have a system I'm working through.
Oh, I see. Okay. I was confused. Yeah. Okay, go ahead. Keep going.
All right. With that, each section goes through, starts off with a really cool essay, which is written from our community. And then generally they have a nice little portrait of the person. Really be cool if there was a display stand that I could put this stuff on as I flip through it for this unveiling. Cameron, Mandy.
I could get you one.
Yeah? Yeah, go grab it real quick while I talk. That might just help out. So with that, it goes through and it gives you a breakdown of the neighborhoods. It gives you a background of it, and then it gets into the locations. The locations go through and they do have some metadata in the headers, which so that way you can go through and easily reference, okay, hey, what neighborhood are they in? Do they have any important NPCs that are tied to this location? They have floor plans that are tied to location. And aside from that, they're all approximately about 4 to like 7 paragraphs long, just depending on how they were written. So it gets through the entire. Oh, there's a cool guy. Yeah, check that. That's from Middentown. Middentown actually has the most locations out of all the stuff. It's like 7 locations or something like that. It's absolutely insane. Oh, hey, look at that. Nice to see you. So, and then with that, it'll go through again. It highlights out. Hey, heads up! There's a portrait that is tied to this person. You can go through, find a portrait back for whatever as you kind of move through and stuff. So that's how the locations books are gone through and laid out. I also cannot see the chat right now, just so you guys know.
Sorry, the one that I thought I had went missing.
All right.
It got moved. It got organized somewhere.
That's true. Organization's the worst. But yeah, so you're talking about pages and pages. This one's over 260 something pages of locations. When I put this into
question, does Darkenhaven have really?
What's the question?
Does Darkenhaven have homeless butter bars walking around trying to figure out the maps?
Yes.
So anyway.
Do you know what a butter bar is?
No, tell me about it.
A butter bar is a first lieutenant in the Army, and they're all like uncharacteristically bad at land navigation, but they're also the guy who's in charge. So it's really funny because it's just like, hey, here you go, get these guys to this location, and they're the worst at directions.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, and they're called butter
I'm
bars.
glad that I now know that it's called a butter bar.
Yeah, because their bar is gold, so like on like the thing, it looks like just a stick of butter.
That's, you know what? I'm glad. The more you know.
What's also fun is it also looks the same upside down as it does right side up. So it's really funny to go up to them and say, hey, your rank's upside down. They go, what? And it looks the exact same.
They want you to sing your song from Fishertown.
Oh, really? So Fishertown, I don't think it's in here. So I did get the chance to go through and write up I actually got to write a little bit for this, which was new for me. It also gave me such an appreciation for Carrie and AJ because they are like professional writers. I like have to like do like the 5th grade, like create like the web chart draft and stuff like that. And you'd be like, hey, I need this. And they're like, here it is. It's really impressive. Let me see if I can go through and pull this out real quick.
Do you need dice?
No.
Oh.
Fishertown. This one. Excuse me. This book.
Wow, I guess you don't know the materials as well as you thought you did. I'm just kidding.
You want to throw some shade here, girl?
I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm
76.
looking forward to this.
What's up?
I'm looking forward to this.
I have to remember the tune of it. I did actually have a tune when I wrote it.
Okay.
But yeah, so Fishertown, I got to write a really cool tavern, and I actually created a like an NSRE type deal for it, which allows you to go through and have a singing competition. Which actually it's an NSRE. It's not in the location. So let's go over to the GM reference book. But also, this is the 2nd book, and I wrote some stuff in here, and it's pretty cool. And there's a postal office that is invaded by Vlandian spies. You should check it out. So, into the NSREs for Fishertown 24.
So here's a spectacular view of a man looking through his book. And, has he found something?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go.
All right, so in your NSRE section here, kind of normal stuff. That black bolded text is where you get into my NSRE for Tavern Song. And essentially what the setup for it is that the party goes over, walks into this tavern. The whole tavern is singing in a tavern song, and they go through, and one of the patrons, they all sing the chorus. After the chorus, it goes to one of the patrons. The patron sings out a verse that they make up on the spot, and then the entire tavern erupts back into the chorus again.
So they have to make it up on the spot?
Yes.
Okay.
So for this, I have, okay, cool. I actually remember this. So here's the setup for it. The atmosphere is electric with the sound of music and laughter. The walls are adorned with nautical decorations, and the smell of hearty food and ale fills the air. As you step inside, you are greeted by the sight of patrons singing in unison, their voices harmonizing to the rousing tavern song. The entire crowd is belting out the chorus with gusto. Raise your voice and let stories fly. With every verse our spirits rise. Tales of old and legends bold. In this tavern life's pure gold. Raise your mug and sing along. In the tavern hearts are strong. Every verse a tale unfolds. Then, before the last line is sung, a halfling male stands on a stool pointing to a dwarven woman mid-sip of her ale and sings as loud as he can. Now share your tale or face the cold. The woman pauses for a moment while the tavern patrons loudly clap, keeping rhythm to the song. Once she has had a moment to think, she stands and the patrons clap softly now in rhythm. A mermaid song upon the waves led us to the ocean caves. We found a pearl as big as me and danced beneath the silver sea. The patrons erupt in cheers and then break into the chorus. Raise your voice, let stories fly. With every verse our spirits rise. Tales of old and legends bold. In this tavern life's pure gold. Raise your mug and sing along. In the tavern hearts are strong. Every verse a tale unfolds. The dwarf woman stands on the stool and points to you, singing now as loud as she can. Now share your tale or face the cold.
Okay, so now I have to come up with
So now you'd have to come up with a thing. However, I go through and I put in there essentially, so the way it's supposed to be set up is obviously like when the dwarf woman gets called, she gets a second to go through and think about it. So that's the whole thing, is that the GM should be just being like, hey, yeah, all they're doing is they're just clapping, they're giving you time to go through and think about it, and you give the players a chance to go through.
I like
create
that.
It up. Yeah.
You know what I would do if I was DMing this scenario is I would let everyone. I would make sure everyone had a piece of paper and a pencil in front of them, and let them actually have 5 minutes to jot down what they wanted to sing, and then go around the table, and everyone had to share their.
So you can do that as long as you go through. You have to figure out what your rhyme is going to be. So if you're going to be like, hey, make sure it rhymes with gold, make sure it rhymes with C. As long as you do that, then you can definitely do that. And then if you don't, if they don't go through and sing anything, they go through and they just erupt in cheering laughter, and then they just continue singing through it. So it's not like hey, you better sing it or else you leave. It's just like a fun-hearted game that you can.
No, I would love that. Genuinely, I would love that at a table. I think that'd be really fun. Yeah.
That was my NSRE that I wrote.
There's some applause for you, Lawrence. Good.
Thank you very much.
Good, and I genuinely mean it. And I know it sounds. There's just one person here clapping.
Very
Everyone on the screen is
placating.
clapping for you. Thank you, Lawrence. Love those fun side missions. Thank you to Lawrence always. Barbarian took a level in Bard. Applause. Love this. Applause. Okay, so
I'm probably a real life barbarian.
And then there's some really cool gifs and emojis in the chat. Nice. Okay, we only have 2 minutes left, so keep going on.
Okay, so. That's how you get into that NSRE. So you have tons of NSREs. You actually have tons of actual tables in the back here for rumors and lore and stuff. And so the GM reference book has everything that you expect.
I love that pic. That is my favorite art for Darkenhaven.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. I think we might put that one on one of the shirts that we have.
Probably should.
Like the one that you have. I was going to do a few different arts on that.
True. But yeah, so tons of different tables for all of your different references, and as well as actually NPC generation tables as well.
I really like the tables. I think that's a fun way to randomly add in something or randomize useful things for the GMs.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
So,
also, please remember next time that I'm a lot taller.
There's literally a short chair right next to you.
Yeah, but literally, I have to be able to move around.
Well, I need to be able to see the table. It's just, yeah. Okay, you're doing great.
Thank you. All right.
I'm just helping you stretch.
I'm getting it.
Okay.
So, maps. There are 24 8.5 by 11 maps that go through and they break down. Now, what's special about these maps, if I can get close enough into it, you can see there are numbers and location tags. So that is where all of your locations are actually located at. Sorry, there you go. Now we're right side up.
Is this the player or the GM's map?
This one is going to be more for the GM. Now, again, it's up to you. Just for me, if I was going to run it, and then this is a very hot take kind of thing, I would probably honestly give the locations just to the players, just so that way they can kind of see what's available, see what they're going to, the players primer does do a good job of giving them some access to those references or those resources. But I would probably do that just for my guys, just to make it a little bit less, so that way I have to describe the entire city to them myself, so that way it gives them some resources for them to go through and do. Completely up to you. We are working on a resource where it's just kind of blank maps that'll be available for players to go through and download, so they can update and create their own maps. It'll have the major roadways on it and stuff like that, but it won't have all the location tags. So you do go through, you have those. You also have in here a very comprehensive, wait for it, NPC cheat sheet. This thing is 8 pages long. It's 4 pages double-sided, but yeah, it's 8. It goes over, it's broken up by major organizations. So if you need the fences one, if you need all of the notable people, if you need police and military, if you need shopkeepers and stuff, we have the NPC tables that you guys are used to instead of all of our chapter
Jen
boxes.
says, Darkenhaven has so many maps that every road leads to Darkenhaven and Rome is pouting.
That's accurate. You know what I actually realized this is missing?
What?
It's actually missing the poster maps. So this does have 6 large poster maps that are 22 by 34 inches that all combine into the mega Darkenhaven map. This right here is going to be your best friend as, there you go, that's fine. is going to be your best friend as a DM. This is your city key. So this is for you, the dungeon master, to go through and have your breakout of the locations, of which ones have floor plans, of what their location codes are, and what page you can find them on as you guys are playing. So there's that. Last but not least, aside from the poster maps, which I was not able to show you because they are not inside this box because they were got for something else. I think we actually used them for planning with Luke Gygax for Tomb of Gygax. Oh. Floor plans. So we have 70, the final number I believe was 72 floor plans that are of all kinds of different stuff. This is for this is actually a museum wing. This is a tavern. There's another tavern. There are a lot of taverns. This is a magical shop. I hope I can find the warehouse in here. The warehouse is amazing. Magical shop. This one's a glass blower. This one is a playhouse, I think. What is this one? Oh, this is the oh no, this one's a dojo. This is all if Michelle's on this is the dojo of the Wild Claw.
Rainy's dojo.
Yep, there you go. This one I can't tell. It's a little bit smaller than me. This one looks so good.
Which one is that one?
This one is the Lua Magica. That's the Heart Fox's place.
Oh, I love that.
Actually, no, it's not, because that's the Heartfield's artificial spot. Lua Magica is something else, actually. I'm confused. But yeah, so tons of different formats that you can actually go through and use for either role play, for combat, but just really help set the scene for them. This one's another tavern. Yep, this one's the Whispering Werven. So it ends up being, it's 50 locations. It's some of these actually have multiple floors to them. And so they're absolutely amazing. Can't wait to see what happens with folks importing these into the VTTs and stuff and being able to play on them. This was actually a really cool bakery that came out really good. I helped art direct on that one, which I'm really proud of. So
Jen says that box is so massive I had to rearrange my luggage.
Yeah, no, it's...
Are we talking about Darkenhaven? Sorry, they said, Jen said it was 21 pounds, but it's actually 11 pounds.
11 pounds, 2 ounces, 2.2 ounces.
Yeah.
Why is that important? Because I'm helping shipping. Oh, also, just, again, like for reference, we brought out something like 11,000 pounds of equipment and actual product to Gen Con. And I loaded and unloaded every single pound of that.
That's a big flex.
Yeah, it was.
Do it.
Was actually, so when we actually...
You could actually flex. Go.
Oh, I could actually flex?
Show it.
There's children watching, Mandy.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, literally, so after day one of Gen Con, when we actually unloaded and we're doing booth setup, my forearms were actually cramping from having carried so much weight. However, probably one of my proudest parts of Gen Con was we actually bought this amazing conveyor belt that we can roll stuff on. And there's one point when we were loading up and there's two chicks that walked by and they were like, oh, that's hot. And I was like, yeah, they're flirting with my conveyor belt.
Oh, God.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, this has been a great show.
They still can't see you.
I know. Well, I was going to leave it on you because you're mugging over there.
Yeah, but you're talking.
Okay. Anyway. So, Alphinius Goo is in the chat.
Oh, is that the DLF?
Softy, big softy, super softy. I don't know.
DLF, I want you to know that while I do not have a lot of money, I do have a very particular set of skills that makes me a nightmare for an organization like you. They're mainly organizational skills that will make you keep to timelines and go through and produce stuff inside of a consistent manner. So be afraid. Be very afraid. With that, thank you for coming out to Good Morning Zyathé.
Yeah. I also have a particular set of skills which will be applied to other things not related necessarily to getting Alphinius back, because I got my special forces bro over there. He's going to take care of it. And in the meantime, may all your adventures be sticky. And please go purchase your VIG badge from Genghis Khan. It is going to be so much fun. And I look forward to seeing you all. And Pacificon next weekend, Labor Day in the Bay Area. If you happen to be in the area or just want to fly in for a good convention, it's a lot of fun. So
update your addresses for Tomb of Gygax and for Darkenhaven. We are doing our mid-shipment.
I was in the middle of the sign-off, but it's fine. You keep going. You give all the important information.
Oh, I thought we were doing like important like recap stuff.
Well, it's fine. You go.
All right. Hey, make sure if you order at any point you have ordered Darkenhaven, make sure that your address is updated, especially in backer kit. For Tomb of Gygax, we're doing our mid-shipment. That is where if you purchased any of our side adventures, if you purchased any of our chapter 1s, if you purchased any Gaxwork items, anything that we currently have in stock, For your Tomb of Gygax pledge order, we're going to go through and we're going to be doing our mid-shipment. We're going to be getting those out to you. So make sure you go through, double check backer kit, and make sure your addresses are updated so we're sending them to the correct location. If you have any issues, adventures@gooeycube.com on Discord. Make sure you go through, tag GooeyEad or Gooad, Gooeyad. There we go. Same thing on Facebook. Go through, tag EAD inside of those. Make sure that we're going over and we're not missing your stuff. We do get a whole flood of different. Most of the time, it's just people just want to talk and just say hi and stuff, and we absolutely love that. But definitely, if you have like, hey, there's an issue with my order, there's an issue with my address, make sure that you get our attention so that we can get that fixed for you because we love giving you stuff.
Yes. Cheers.
Cheers, folks.
Cheers.
May all your adventures be sticky.
Bye.